Hello, mindful friends. Today we're going to be talking about engaging with feelings of happiness and how if only mind can get in the way of that. And this is something I heard recently on a talk by Tara Brach, and she links if only mind with our side of our mind that always wants to find something wrong in life or something is missing. And I could be happy if only. And then we put all these conditions on our happiness. And when we are allowed to feel happiness, when all these conditions come into our lives. And these conditions could feel really legitimate, right? They could be, if only I was healthy and didn't get these headaches, I could be happy. If only I didn't have to work every day, I could be happy. If only this project was done in my house, I could be happy. And so sometimes we think, well, pretty legitimate, health and not having headaches, that's pretty linked with being able to feel happiness. It seems like quite an obstacle in being able to be happy. But where this gets troublesome is that we are kind of conditioned and have habit energies that force us to only look at the missing conditions for being happy, at our obstacles in getting to a happy place or a happy feeling. And when we direct our attention there, it kind of takes away from our ability to engage with happiness along the way in everyday life, in whatever is present for us. And as Thich Nhat Hanh had taught, our happiness is in the here and now. It's only accessible in this moment, because this moment is all that there is. And so if we're always waiting for the next moment to bring a better condition for happiness, we never actually get to experience it. We never actually get to be in it. And so what we're working on in mindfulness is being able to recognize, it's pretty normal that we have these conditions for happiness, that we assume what they are and what we need in order to be happy. And can we recognize those and still find conditions of happiness in this moment, in how things are right here and right now? And this is a big example in my life in the moment as I'm about 7 months pregnant. We're renovating the kitchen. It turned into a much larger project, and that 1 week of it being worked on turned into 3. And the cost almost tripled, and we have doubts about my husband's work, and he has gotten in hours and pay decrease. So there's all these conditions present in our lives right now. And let me tell you, when you walk into your house and there is all of your kitchen is spread all over your house, and you have your new cabinets taking up every inch of your living room and your workout room and your art room, and there's nowhere to walk that is dust-free or clutter-free, it feels pretty prohibitive for relaxing and feeling the conditions of happiness. And that if only mind is pretty large. If only I could clean my house and get my kitchen back, I would be happy. Or if only we were certain about Will's work and where that was going, we could be relaxed and happy. The problem with this is that yes, conditions right now are a bit more difficult, but once those resolve, if we have if only mind, we will inevitably come up with new conditions for our happiness after that. And so if we're always waiting for a next condition to arise to be happy, we're waiting forever, for a very long time. And so instead, how we look at this is we say there are some obstacles and challenges in our lives right now, in our day-to-day existence, that make things a bit more challenging and affect our emotions a bit. And there's still possibility to enjoy life in this moment. There are hard things, and if I want to be happy, I can find those conditions here and now. And when we think about the conditions of happiness that we can find in these moments, is sometimes we get really heady about it. We want to think about it. We want to name them. We want to do a gratitude practice. And sometimes I find when I do this, I start spinning, and it's like it's too mental, and I'm cognitively trying to come up with things, and I'm not feeling them at all. It's like this is just an exercise. But when I really engage with feelings of happiness in this moment, it's when I tune in to my senses and ground myself in what's really happening in this moment. And when I do that, I can almost always look out the window and see a tree that wasn't budding yesterday that is budding now. And I see that little bright green, and that is a feeling of happiness. Or I walk between the house and the studio, and I hear a bird singing that maybe I haven't heard since last summer. And this new arrival brings me this feeling of happiness as I kind of feel spring approaching and coming in this next season. Or I'm eating my lunch, and I bite into my orange, and I totally immerse myself in that taste and the burst of liquid and flavor and color of this fruit, and I feel happiness. So these feelings are less like think about it, come up with these reasons why you should be grateful in life and have happiness. And it's more of just engaging with the simple sensory inputs that help us enjoy the experience as it is here and now. And no matter what's going on in life, you can still pick up an orange and eat that slice and fully engage with that experience. You can still step out of your chaotic house and stand on the porch and listen to the world around you and watch for, look at see if you can see a new bud on a tree, or maybe a new sprout in the ground. And these are the ways that we engage with and feel happiness each step of the way. We're not waiting for it. And they can be very short moments, not very long. Doesn't have to be this extravagant experience. You don't have to go somewhere else or on an adventure. It's right here. And when we take these little pauses, they're maybe 30 seconds, but we continue to do that throughout the day. Even when things are hard and challenging in our lives, they're balanced out by these little moments of happiness is still here. Life is still continuing on. It's still accessible. And that balances things out and lets us know happiness is here and now, not just waiting for it. Whereas if we're in that if only mind, it's like, if only this was done, now I'm holding out my happiness. I'm containing it and refusing to allow its presence until this project gets all finished or until my health gets perfect. It's like I'm withholding happiness from myself. And that is really burdensome and can last a lifetime of if-onlys. So we try to notice it's okay that we have if onlys. Of course they're there. It's pretty normal. But here's my if only, and I can still allow myself to feel little moments of happiness here and now. They are still available. And the more I take those little 30-second breaks in the day, the more happiness can build within me and the more it exists within me. So I invite you this week, examine and understand your if-onlys. We all have them. They're there. Notice, recognize, and then remind yourself, I can allow myself to be happy right here and right now. And experiment with letting your sensory experience of those beautiful gifts of life in any moment, absorb those, immerse yourself in them, and let yourself feel the happiness feeling around them. And let that grow each time that you engage with them. Notice how it continues to grow. If you enjoy these talks, would like to join us for individual coaching or group classes, you can find us at newleafmindfulness.com. My next class series is the Intro to Mindfulness series happening at the Rec Center. That begins April 8th. And you can find these teachings and many more in both of my books, Healing Mindfully and Living from the Heart. You can find those anywhere you get your reading content. I hope to see you all very soon.